Happy Independence Day for all you that are North American or from the United States. And let's do two little special videos today, guys. Hello, guys. Once again, it's Matt. Thank you all the members and patrons. Make sure to subscribe. And we're going to talk about two things today. First video will be about what is the best aircraft for you to fly in top tier US right now. Of course, we have many options, but what is the best option? You know, what is the best aircraft for a new player to get in, or even a veteran player to get the most kills out of it? Because we have two different aircraft, especially that will be like this. So first of all, let's talk about the F-16. The F-16 is an amazing aircraft. I gotta be honest, this is my favorite American aircraft right now in the game. Just because of the flight performance of it. So it will probably be a contender, right, of being the best aircraft for you to play in top tier. It has its drawbacks, mainly there are two of them. The first one would be the range of the radar. Not that it matters too much, but it is less than an F-15, F-14, and etc., right? And of course the number of missiles, being able to carry only 6 missiles, and if you want to take 2 AIM-9s, you can only carry 4 AIM-120s. So of course you can carry 6 AIM-120s, but I wouldn't probably advise you guys to do that. It's always nice to have at least 1 or 2 AIM-9s for you to attack some targets, right? And everything else is amazing on this aircraft. It's on top of the game, basically, right? It has an amazing air-to-ground capability. It has amazing BVR capability, dogfighting capability. It is the perfect light fighter for the US, right? This is obviously, I'm talking about the C variant, right? So is it the best? Well, first of all, we gotta talk about the F-15 and some others, but honestly, for me, it is my favorite. It is the easiest aircraft for you out there to actually fly. So if you want the easiest one to actually get into top tier and learn how to fly in top tier, for sure, in my opinion, the F-16C is the best option. But it is not the only option, as I was saying, right? We have also, obviously, the F-15C with the MSIP-2 upgrade. This aircraft is the heavy hitter, right? It's the hammer. It is the aircraft that everybody loves, and it is the aircraft that it's the most capable in the air-to-air role. Of course, every single aircraft in the game has its drawbacks. The drawbacks of this is that it is heavier. If you want to take a little bit more fuel, you are going to be heavier, and that will, make it as a problem sometimes if you're not careful. So be careful with your full fuel load and with the missile loadouts that you choose, of course. But everything else is, of course, perfect on this aircraft in the sense of air combat. It has more missiles than the F-16, and of course it can take even, it can take 8 BVR missiles. I mean, come on, right? Of course, I wouldn't probably take it. I would still take 4 or 6, and then 2 or 4 AIM-9s. But it's still, 8 missiles. It's 2 more only, technically, than the F-16. But it has the radar to go along with it, being a lot better. Of course, again, does it matter that much, the radar? Not really, to be honest. This radar is better in the range and stuff. But at the end of the day, these maps, they're not really usable with the max range of these radars anyway, right? So it's nothing that matters too much. What you have to think about it here is that you have two choices between the F-16 and F-15. One that it's a heavier aircraft that carries more missiles, and one that it's a lighter aircraft that carries less missiles. That's pretty much what it is. Does it mean that the F-15 is bad at the performance? No, it's just that you have to be careful with some loadouts, with the weight. But in a general sense, it can do very, very well dogfights. It is fast. It is probably the fast accelerating aircraft in the game, probably. And it's really, really fast. And the dogfighting capability is on par with basically almost every single aircraft. There are obviously aircraft that are going to beat this thing, but in a general sense, it is going to be on par with everybody else. So to be honest, I would personally prefer this aircraft for a more veteran player. Okay, so Although I still believe overall the F-15 is a better aircraft because it just has more time in the battle. It has more missiles, more options, so eventually you will get more kills with it. The F-16 is probably an easier aircraft to fly with the lightweightness of it. You know, it's easier to just evade a missile and fly around and stuff because, you know, it's a lighter aircraft, right? But that learning curve of the F-15 is not that big, and it can be an amazing aircraft as well. So between the two, honestly, again, it's a choice. Me personally, I love the F-16 more, but of course the F-15, everybody loves it as well, and it's an aircraft that has its place being the top dog probably of the US Tech 3, right? I still believe that it has a little bit more capabilities than the F-16 just because it has more missiles, but at the end of the day, it is a harder aircraft to fly a tiny bit. It's not by much. And of course, there is always the little thing that if you are gonna get an aircraft to help you in the ground battles, the F-16 is a better option. It has a better weapon systems, just overall systems for air to ground, while the F-15 is more of a heavy hitter in the air-to-air role. So have those things in mind and choose your own aircraft. I still believe that the majority of the players will probably place the F-15 as the best option, just like I did, but of course there's always, again, the little option of the F-16 that it's just easier to fly. Of course, we have to talk about two honorable mentions over here. The F-14B, which is a great option. It is an amazing aircraft right now. Very easy to get AIM-54 kills with it right now. The radar is pretty good, but it has its drawbacks. I mean, only carrying Sparrows and AIM-9Ls, it is a problem when you face top tiers. Of course, thankfully, this is a 12.0 aircraft, so it's not every single match. It's rarely that you get a top tier match, I would say, in this thing. So yeah, and even when you get it, you have a lot of countermeasures, you have a lot of performance on the aircraft, so that you can stay alive and get people by surprise with your M54s and your A9Ls, right, from time to time. So still a great option. Obviously worse than the F-15 and 16 in my opinion. And the last honorable mention is obviously the AV-8B Plus. Although an amazing aircraft, it has a major drawback, which is the performance. Obviously, it is a 12.3 aircraft, so thankfully it will not face top tiers every single time, but it can face them. At least it has the missiles to fight them, the radar, everything, the systems. It just doesn't have the performance on speed to actually catch everybody and have good shots from BVR, but everything else is pretty good on these aircraft. So these are my opinions on what are the best top tier aircraft. I still prefer the F-16, but I know a lot of people prefer the F-15. Let me know in the comments what is your favorite American aircraft in top tier, and I see you guys on the next one.